Hello, how you doing? Nice to see you. That's lovely. In this week's photo, you can see, in fact, two photos of the same company, but at different moments in its decades-long life. The company, Hextall, founded in the Basque Country in 1934, used to make mass production batteries, you know, the kind of batteries you put in your remote control. Global competition, the drop in prices and many other factors meant that this was no longer a feasible market by the start of the 21st century, and the company had to pivot. The company had to change its strategy and become something new. Hextall closed its old production facilities and moved its offices into a new factory producing new lithium batteries built for companies. They now provide energy solutions for a very specific industrial market rather than mass market batteries. This is an example of a company pivoting and changing its strategy because of market conditions. You adapt or you die. Do you remember Nokia? I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Nobody does. Remember this company? A bit different nowadays. Although the company still exists. It sold its mobile phone business to Microsoft and refocused on a different sector. Nowadays, Netflix seems to dominate the whole streaming environment, but it started as a DVD rental company that would mail the DVD to your home and then you would post it back to them. They saw how the industry was changing and innovated. Sometimes I think that ordinary people don't actually understand how difficult it is to change the strategy of your company, to change the product or to change the services or to change everything. There are people in these companies who have to do that, because if they don't, the company will die. People will be made redundant. Cities and communities will suffer. There are people who dedicate their professional lives to making this happen. I think they do an amazing job. So we're going to look at 5 different companies that have managed to pivot and change. Let's find out more.
In today's fast-changing world, even the strongest companies can fall if they cling too tightly to the past. This presentation explores how several well-known firms have transformed their core business to stay relevant. Each story highlights a different kind of shift, from hardware to services, from products to solutions, from traditional to digital, or from mature markets to emerging ones. What unites them all is a shared belief that adaptability and innovation aren't optional. They're essential for long-term survival. Let's start with Nokia. Founded in 1865 as a pulp mill, Nokia expanded into rubber, cables, and later consumer electronics. During the 1990s and early 2000s, it became the world's leading mobile phone brand. But when smartphones reshaped the industry, Nokia lost ground to Apple and Android competitors. Instead of collapsing, Nokia pivoted again, selling its mobile phone business to Microsoft and shifting its focus to telecommunications infrastructure and 5G technology. It's a classic story of reinvention, proof that even a fallen giant can rise again by changing its core focus. Our second example is closer to home, Hextall, a company founded in 1934 in the Basque Country. Originally, Hextall was known for dry cell batteries and lighting products. But as global competition intensified, traditional battery markets shrank. Rather than fading away, Hextall transformed itself into a specialist in industrial energy storage, developing lithium-ion and rechargeable systems for renewable energy and mobility. The company stayed within its field, energy, but moved from mass-market consumer goods to high-tech industrial solutions. IBM is one of the best-known examples of a large corporation that has continuously reinvented itself. Founded in 1911, IBM pioneered punched card-based data tabulating machines and time clocks, and continued to build its reputation with electric typewriters and mainframe computers. But by the late 1980s, hardware was becoming a low-margin business, and IBM faced serious decline. Under CEO Lou Gerstner, the company shifted towards software, consulting, and cloud services, essentially moving from selling machines to selling expertise. Today, IBM is recognized for AI, hybrid cloud computing, and enterprise solutions. It survived by changing not what it stood for, but how it delivered value. Next up, Netflix, a company that's practically synonymous with transformation. Launched in 1997 as a DVD rental service, Netflix saw early on that streaming was the future. In 2007, it moved to digital distribution, and by 2013, it began producing original shows such as House of Cards. Netflix didn't wait for disruption, it disrupted itself. The result? It went from mailing DVDs to becoming one of the world's most influential content creators and streaming platforms. Its story shows the power of anticipating change rather than reacting to it. And finally, let's look at Siemens. Founded in 1847, it began as an electrical engineering and telegraph company. Over time, it expanded into manufacturing, transportation, and power systems. But in recent decades, Siemens faced new challenges: globalization, digitalization, and environmental transition. The company responded by repositioning itself around digital industry, automation, and smart, low-emissions infrastructure. Today, it combines engineering excellence with cutting-edge software and data technology. Siemens shows how even a traditional industrial giant can thrive by embracing the digital age. The lesson from these stories is simple but powerful. Companies survive not because they stay the same, but because they change before they must. Flexibility, innovation, and cultural openness are key. Technology drives the transformation, but mindset makes it sustainable. Crises, while painful, often trigger the creativity that leads to renewal. In the end, reinvention isn't a single leap, it's an ongoing process. The ability to evolve with purpose is what separates who endure from those who disappear. Chat about these questions and write down your opinions and ideas. 1. Which do you think is harder for a company, changing its products or changing its culture? 2. Think of companies that fail to adapt, e.g. Blockbuster, Kodak, BlackBerry. What happened? 3. Do you think small companies have more flexibility to pivot than large corporations? Why? 4. What roles do technology and digitalization play in modern business survival? 5. What kinds of industries might face disruption in the next 10 years? How could they adapt?